Cadettes, you can sit wherever you like. Wherever you like, you can go sit. With the raise of your thumb, the thumbs up or thumb down, how was your home pass? Thumbs up, medium, medium, okay. So let's start the quote. Make your decisions on behalf of the generations coming.
Make your decisions on behalf of the generations coming.
So that they may enjoy what you have today.
So that they may enjoy what they have today.
You make your decisions on the behalf of the generations coming so that they may enjoy what you have today.
Make your decisions on behalf of the generations coming so that they may enjoy what you have today. Are we done here on top?
Very good. You may, and you may sit down as well.
May we know what we're doing today?
Yes, you may. Good question. So today's lesson is called the Technology Takeover. So before we begin, I'd like each of you to go get a Chromebook, and we're going to do a warm-up activity. All right? Okay. So once you log on to your Chromebook, I'm going to have you go to an app, but in 1 second, I'm going to wait till we get all synced up. When you do have Google set up, I want you to go to kahootit.com. So that's going to look like, come on in. So you're going to go to kahoots.it. And then this is the pin that you're going to enter, okay? So put your last name, please, for your screen name, so I know who you are, and your fellow cadets know who you are.
Can y'all please put the right thing this time? Don't like directions.
That's right, Slaughter. Listen up. All you cadets, put your last name, please, for your screen name. The video that my lesson that I'm teaching, and then I have to do a reflection on it, and I learn how ridiculous I look on camera and how I say.
I don't think you look ridiculous.
Well, thank you. Okay, thank you. Oh, and by the way, it was really nice to meet all your family members.
Oh, thanks. Did you meet my mom?
Yeah.
Did you meet my mom?
Yep. Yeah, it was really nice to meet all your parents.
Did you hear her accent?
All right, here we go. So this is time, so make sure that you're on it. How much time do you spend using an electronic device each day? This is not at Summers. This is at home.
Oh yeah, way more than 6 hours. Way more.
How much time do you even see?
How much time do you spend using an electronic device each day? At
Definitely
home.
more than 6 hours.
You can't see? Turn around or sit somewhere else.
So how do we win?
Okay.
We can't even win this game, can we?
I like telling people what I'm doing because
I know. What form of social media do you use the most? Instagram. Oh no!
It's between Instagram and Snap.
I'm on Instagram a lot. So I'm on Instagram more.
I'm on Snapchat.
7 seconds.
I'm on Instagram and Snapchat a lot. If Instagram not moving, I'm on Snapchat. If Snapchat not moving, I'm on Instagram.
So it looks like the majority of us are on Snapchat. That's surprising to me. I thought
But that's the
Instagram
thing, like, I think you should have put Instagram and Snapchat together.
together.
I'm on it, both of them, 25/8. A lot. Like, I watch, because I watch all the stories on
Back and
Instagram. I
forth.
watch all
But
the
they're
stories.
they're almost becoming similar now with Instagram having the stories as well, right?
Yeah, but she still needs Snapchat.
Okay, very
Some
cool.
people be looking whooped
So-
and they need the filter.
So none of you are really on Facebook, is that right?
No, that's for old people. No, I'm on Facebook because Facebook
Follow me on Facebook.
Facebook goes up in Lancaster and I used to live out there.
Yeah, Facebook do go up in Lancaster.
Yeah,
because-
Facebook kind of is an old person thing these days, right?
Yeah.
What about MySpace? You ever-
That's all the way.
That's like your type of thing.
That was when I was your age.
I had a MySpace when I was little.
That is hilarious. Hey,
I remember
Jenna.
my friends
Here we go.
That's why I
Do you spend more time interacting with your friends in person or on social
Well,
media?
on social media while I'm in person.
Oh.
What if they're both?
What if you're with your friends and then you're like, girl, do you see what I was online.
I was wait. I think
Well, you can explain why when we both when we're finished with this.
also.
Okay. So 6 and 5, in person is 6, 5 is on social media. Who's both? Raise your hand.
No, I
So-
can't. I can't.
Okay. So listen up, everybody. 11 of you are addicted to your phone. But you're not alone. I would say I'm addicted to my phone. I would say like 98% of us who have smartphones are addicted to them because they're programmed to make us addicted to them. Roberts was saying that she feels like it's a drug, like social media is a drug, her phone is a drug, and it actually, it is. Like, the way it triggers your hormones, it triggers a pleasure response in your brain,
And the way
and it is highly addictive.
The way people go crazy for it when they don't have it, like when I had came out of jail and they had my phone, like they wouldn't give me my phone. And
Yeah.
it was crazy, like just give me my phone because I had to take it for evidence. I was so mad.
Yeah. Pretty much all of us are addicted to our phones. It's scary. So let's listen. We're gonna watch this video. So you can close your Chromebooks for a little bit. Please, everybody, close your Chromebook. And I'm gonna hit the lights.
Almost 60% of adults think their kids are addicted too. And a third of parents and teens say they argue daily about screen time.
The documentary is called Screenagers, and in it, Dr. Delaney Rustin explores the complex relationship teenagers have with their screens. Both the pleasures they take in sharing their lives online with their friends, as well as the darker side, those who lose control of their digital habits and spiral into damaging behavior.
Stimulation overload. And what the lady was saying before, the doctor, is that our brains are constantly, they're programmed to constantly absorb information. But when it's so rapid with technology, when it's just like lightning speed, it does something to our brains, and it kind of slows us down in a way. That rapid speed takes over, and there's not enough, brain capacity to process it all. Do you think you are getting enough, like, physical social time with your friends? Is that still happening for you?
Nah.
Well, Ramirez just volunteered. Let's go with Sandoval. Ramirez.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time spending with like friends. I don't know, but it's a different situation for me though.
Okay, but it's still, you're saying no though.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hating my friends.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're like, you can go on your way.
So you had to stay home. So
Yeah.
social media actually was a good tool for you because you could talk to them remotely. Okay. So let's continue. We have a lot to cover still, but I'm really enjoying your feedback. Thank
I'm a
you.
parent and I come to you and I say, I have a young kid, maybe a 10-year-old.
This is all about teaching kids self-control. And what we've learned through the research is that it's absolutely teachable. So I would really discourage a family from getting a child a device when they don't feel like they're going to be able to control themselves from when they use it.
So she's saying it's all self-control, which it is because our technology is nothing more than just a tool. It's no different than like a Swiss Army knife when you need it, but you don't need to be on it all the time. And that's what she's saying. We need to be disciplined enough to know when to put it down. However, it does something to our brains in which it triggers us to want to be fed into it. I see, what's real trippy? I'm seeing this happen while driving quite a lot. We're at stop signs, like stoplights. I'll look over to glance at other people, and they're on their phones when they're like having downtime, as if they have nothing else to do. They can't look at the what's going on in the world.
I have a connection.
Yes. So times are obviously changed. These kids, you guys, or should I say girls?
Yeah.
That's how we're not going back to those days. So imagine what it's going to be like in 10 years from now.
I feel like
Imagine if you decide to have kids, what it's going to be like to teach them restrictions on cell phones or social media. Imagine what it's going to be like in 100 years from now. What is that going to be like?
I feel like we're not even gonna have
Do you,
jobs.
who has any idea what do you think the world's going to be like in 100 years in technology? Anybody have an idea? Hella dirty.
We're gonna
Just a
have
see-through
robots.
screen, just like a piece of glass that, okay,
We're gonna have people.
I
See,
feel like it's gonna get way more expensive because it's already expensive now.
way more expensive.
And they're gonna try to make iPhones high tech.
Like Star Wars, like 3D, like holograms.
Yeah, like, you know, watches and it holographs.
Holograms, yes. What about, so has any of you seen the TV show on Netflix called Black Mirror?
Yup.
Who raise your hand if you have? So we have Ramirez. Good, this is a good example. So Black Mirror
There's an episode about a girl that she if you have a high rank, you will go to fancy
Well,
restaurants.
fancy you, because that's what we're gonna watch. That's right. Okay, so where is she seeing that?
Hilarious.
In her eyes. That's how she sees things. So there's constantly a screen in front of you.
Yeah. It's going pretty great. Good to hear. So what brings you back here, job first day? First day? I'm Blackman Harper. Whoa, top 4. That's a good one. I know, right? It's great.
Let's see what it is. It's using devices. Hey, welcome. Using devices to augment, meaning to modify the human body. So this is something that's not just some theory. This is not something that's like fantasy. This is happening. And this can happen in positive ways and negative ways. For example, you could have like, I don't know, some kind of like pacemaker in your heart. Does that make you a cyborg? Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of does, right? Because it's
I think we should use it for our pregnancy.
it's machinery regulating your heart rate. So you can also, like in the video, she had like contact lenses that made it so she had a computer screen in front of her at all times. That's an augmented modification. That is transhumanism. But what if we had the option of downloading our brain into a computer, ditching our body completely, and having some kind of avatar body with our brain inside of it? This is not even.
That will never be possible.
Well, a lot of people would disagree with Roberts because a lot of theorists and scientists are actually trying to make this happen. So, let's look at this slideshow for a second. So, a way of thinking about the future. So we're hypothesizing what the future could be, right? Where we stand as human beings right now, that's not the limit. We're gonna pretty much prod evolution and put it in hyperdrive. Also, something that I heard where to fight off, like you can almost create like a robotic like antibody that you like ingest, and it's like killing off like cancer cells. Like so, there's like a little robot in you that's killing off cancer cells.
I think they should.
That's pretty cool. And then
But that's about it.
it could be more dangerous, but if you're already in the threat of dying, might as well try it. You know, who knows? But it's unfamiliar territory, and we're afraid of alien things.
What?
We're afraid of the unknown.
Not I.
Not you. You're brave. You're a brave one. Okay, the third one, cognitive science. So this is the study of how brain processes different kinds of information. So reprogramming the brain.
I believe aliens are gonna come and try to be our friends.
I would hope so, but I think they're smart enough to know that they don't want to mess with us. Like we're on our own path of weirdness, right?
There's like two choices: either you want war with us, or you want to be our friends. And they're like, okay, you want to be the aliens?
Okay, so let's talk about the ethical issues before we conclude.
Hey, but this is the thing.
So-
I want to be a superhuman. I think aliens.
Okay. So the dangers of this type of transition would be the creation of superhumans, right? If I have extra hearing, I don't know, that's a superpower.
This is my conversation.
what it was like to have a childhood with like the only technology I had was like the very first Nintendo.
Dang, you're old.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, me
Oh my god, the little gray one.
The little square one.
Little
That's
square
like
one.
The Legend of
I
Zelda.
still like that.
The Legend of Zelda. Okay.
Oh my god, you say that.
But what Rabari's saying is, you know, completely valid. You know, technology is, you know, some people like myself grew up without it, and I knew how to like find fun. Like I lived in Temecula. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go climb on a hill and build a treehouse. Exactly. But you have to have a perspective. You know, is technology taking over for you? Is it taking over your life? Or are you using it as a tool? It's all up to your mind how you use the tool. So we have, for the transhumanism group, we have Roberts, Perez, Slaughter, Padilla. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
You
but I'm
disagree?
doing a one-page essay by myself.
I love that. So with this topic, you can do a one-page essay. You could do an illustration like Perez is doing. So, for example, Perez, do you want to share what this USB is doing to this robot lady?
Like her personality, whatever flash drive gets put in, that's how she's gonna act.
I love it. So that's what you're gonna do a description of what that actually is. So all the different parts, you're gonna do that, label it. So for you, Padilla, I found a platform that you can use, and it's really cool.
The robot website, remember?
So then you're gonna screenshot it, and then we're going to label the different parts and the functions just like Perez. Okay, for the other group, we have Obieca, Zafian, Sanchez, Ramirez L, Ramirez J, Garcia. We have Rubio, Rodriguez M, and Rabari. Is that right? You're gonna be for the cell phone addiction, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Come on, Mr. P.
We're gonna look at the pros and cons that we developed, right? And you're gonna make an illustration of a cell phone, something that looks pretty, but on top of that, you're gonna have 5 pros and 5 cons, and you're gonna be able to use the Chromebooks to find more resources. So you can make a slideshow. If you have any other ideas, if you don't want to draw a picture, you can write a one-page essay as well. The main thing, we want it to look, pretty, so it looks nice on the wall. But we want the 5 pros of why a cell phone is helpful, and then 5 cons of why it's not. Okay, then you'll do the same thing, Robert.
Okay, you pretty much
Did I bring you what?
So I'm working on cell phone addiction, and I just put some pros about what it could be. Like some cell phones can have tracking devices, and like if you run into a situation in the street, you'll be able to use your cell phone. But some cons that have been happening lately is like sexting, and I feel that also I wrote this last part is cell phone addiction has become a big thing. When I was younger, cell phones were not that exclusive, but now I see kids in elementary school with iPhones and just stuck on their phone, and then grow up with the mentality that using your phone is normal, and then not be able to see the beauty in life, and blinded from reality, and have this expectation that you will find a loved one on the internet.
Wow, excellent! I love it. Are you gonna put any illustrations on here as well?
What are
You can put like photos and stuff.
Should I? Okay.
Yeah, just to make it look a little bit more visual stimulating.
Okay.
I love the content though. You write very well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
E-R-S. Or D-E-R-S. I did something.
Never been one of my arms when she's very happy.